Ooh, moment in my life I'll never forget. I don't know, I have a lot. It's kind of funny that this is the one coming to mind. But, we had a vacation in the Keys, and my dad was pulled off the back of the boat because we're lobster diving and stuff, and we ran into a whole school of jellyfish, and he got stung in the balls. It was quite hilarious, but terrifying at the same time, watching all those jellyfish just go right at him. Yeah.
I think when I raised the sun, I put all my energy in it, and I just kept saying, we need to feel the energy so we can raise the sun. And I could feel everyone else's energy all creating together, and suddenly the sun began to rise.
I think maybe it'd be the moment where I realized my self-worth more and had the confidence to not necessarily believe or do things for others. Well, I think when it comes to sports, because I'm an athlete, I had an experience or sort of a season in my life where I just didn't derive as much joy for sports as I initially did when I started playing them. So it took a lot of reflection and a lot of sort of consultation with my parents to come to the realization that I'm ultimately playing sports and I'm developing for my own purpose. I'm not living, people aren't living vicariously through me. So it's important to recognize what I'm doing and why I'm doing it essentially, and not do it for others, because ultimately it's my own view that really matters when I'm making decisions.
That's a good one. The moment in my life that I will never forget will be the time when I graduated. I got accepted into college and all of that, and I feel like that was a blessing considering my past and my life. I didn't really grow up, with a good life. So for me to have that opportunity, I felt like that was a blessing. Actually, I was in foster care growing up most of my life. Yeah, I didn't get adopted till I was about 11 years old. But growing up, it taught me a lot of things, especially being by myself and not having my own immediate family. Showed me how to be independent, showed me how to conquer a lot of things in life and be able to stand on my own. Also, growing up, it was fair I didn't have the best life growing up as a kid. I mean, my mom struggled a lot, especially with her alcohol problems and stuff. But you know what? She gave me up, and I felt like that was a blessing because, it could have been a lot worse. So I'm just grateful for that. It really taught me a lot in life, whatever position you are in life, whether you're down or up, you just don't give up.
It's a sad moment when my mom died. I will never forget that as long as I live. But happy moments, when I graduated college, so that was a happy moment. Another happy moment when I went to Israel, so I won't forget that either. They're just a few of probably many memorable moments in a lifetime.
I'll never forget the day my baby sister was born because I was no longer the favorite. Honestly, it felt pretty good. It felt at the time it was terrible sharing my spotlight, but now that I'm older, I'm content with sharing it with her.
Certain times with my family, I guess, I don't want to forget those. I don't have a specific moment though. I'm not answering these well. Sorry.
The moment I hope I will never forget. Oh wow. For some reason, my first thought, this might sound kind of boring, but I came to having my children. But yeah, I don't know if that's boring or not, but that's the first thing I thought about. Because I'm proud of who they become, the type of adults they are, who they are as citizens. They're great people. I think they're great people. They're doing good things. I'm just proud of who they are. Yeah, they're a better side of me, I guess.
When I became a big sister, it was something very sweet.
Man, that takes a lot of thinking. I have had so many good moments, just life in general. I've been spoiled. I've had it made. I haven't had pain. I've had some of the finest family that I have ever heard of, 4 fine children. I had my wife for 70 years, and probably she was the tops of my life. She also was born right down the side on the mountain.
Getting my first car. Yeah, it was just fun having a car, driving around wherever I want.
My first car accident. You see this scar right here? So it's my first car accident. The windshield came into my forehead. What about you?
There's a couple of them that I have, but probably when I broke up with my girl. Yeah, when I broke up with my girl, it was tough. I went through depression, and it was a lot, but I'm here now, so yeah.
What I can say is that the moment I finally graduated college, I actually was like so proud of myself because I really thought like that year wasn't gonna get there, you know what I mean? But I like learned that I could persevere, like push through anything. So like that was like kind of like the strongest moment in my life so far. Though hopefully I'll have a lot more soon.
Probably a sad moment. My baseball team, we went to the state championship this year, and we lost. And I was just sitting in the dugout, just looking at the field. I was like, we did all this for nothing. It was pretty sad. They did, like our whole town, like they gave us a parade going there. Once we lost, like it was over. We didn't really get anything from it. I mean, I couldn't really do much. I was a bench player, the heart and soul of the team, because I came from tennis, so I just like rode the bench. I did my best. I couldn't do much more.
For me, I think it was when I was able to visit Paris, and I was standing on the Eiffel Tower, and I was just like thinking about my life, like man, like I'm really here. So I hope like I always remember that feeling of like nostalgia. It was like, man, like I'm literally in a whole different country. It's like a dream come true. I've always wanted to go to Paris as a kid, so like the fact that I was fortunate enough to go, it was just a blessing altogether.
Mine was just getting the acceptance letter into JMU because I really didn't think I was going to get in, and then I did, and here I am, and it's just great.
A moment in my life that I hope I will never forget is when my grandparents were alive when I was a child. Grandparents carry all the memories.
Which moment? Well, it's a deep moment in my life that I will never forget, and that's walking into my grandmother's home, finding her body dead, cold. I will never forget that. It was just something that I would never forget because I still have traumatized mental problems from that I go to therapy for still to today. So that's a moment that I would never forget. Very close. My grandmother raised me very close. Very. It's okay. It's okay. And look, she just came out smiling.
I mean, the birth of my kids, for sure. My dad died. Definitely never forget that. Getting married. Yeah, all these things were going to college, graduating. There's pretty normal stuff. Pretty basic stuff, I guess. Because they involve the people that are important to me. The people that kind of help make me who I am today, for sure. Things like this are very memorable too, though. It's very, I was just thinking this is kind of almost like a transcendent moment when you've done something that's really, really hard that you don't think that you can do, and you've ridden your bike a really, really long way. It's been really, really painful, but it's also like, I did it, and I did something that I couldn't do. So this is our version of the Rock Star. The Rock Star is Rocktown to Star City, which is a bicycle ride from Harrisonburg to Roanoke, and we titled this the Bro Star, because we're all friends and we all ride bikes together. We're all from Richmond and hang out together and ride bikes down there. And so we decided to do our version of it, and we've basically bike packed over the last 4 days. And it's kind of like backpacking, but bike packing, and you put all your stuff on there and then you ride for, the whole trip. So I think we've ridden 225 miles or so, about 75 miles a day, and this was about 55 today. So yeah, it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty amazing.
Asking this woman right here to marry me, oh man, it was amazing. This is my high school love, man. She was my first love. She's my everything. You know, we've come a long way just to get to where we are now. It's been a long journey, man. We separated for like 17 years apart and finally found each other. So yeah, it was amazing, man. She's my everything. Well, I'm actually a professional arm wrestler, and I was looking for. We actually have a tournament out here at the Redley Ballroom House tomorrow, so it's going to be a good tournament with 98% arm wrestling. But anyway, I was looking for a sponsor. I was putting on my own tournament, and I just so happened to walk into her place of business, and she was there, and yeah, man, she actually ended up taking my number, and just kind of one thing led to another, brother. So yeah.
I think it was my whole family. We were driving in the car and we were visiting my grandparents, and my dad was testing us on states and capitals, and I got one wrong, so we pulled over on the side of the highway and we had to stay there until I got it right, and then we kept our drive. But that was definitely a very family bonding moment for me, and I hope that I can bring that to all my friends and family in the future too.
I hope I'll never forget moments, 2 moments. Marrying my ex-husband, I hope I'll never forget, and having my son, I hope I'll never forget. So I wouldn't have had my son if I hadn't married my husband.
The first moment that I was a sentient being that I remember. So the older I get, the more distant that memory is. So now I remember being at the kitchen table with my mother. And she's dead now. My family's dead. But I hope I never forget that. Well, in time, it's distant. But as you'll know as you get older, distant memories are not the ones that you forget the easiest. It's what we had for lunch and stuff like that. So, still, I hope to remember those.
I'm gonna have to think. Honestly, just like time spent with my friends. Just like not really any specific time, just any good time with my friends. I just don't ever want to forget that shit. Those are like always the best times. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd like, want to do anything or go anywhere or be anything. They just kind of like push me forward because I can't really push myself forward. It's nice having people that can do that for you when you can't do it yourself. I mean, I'm kind of just now met them, but she helped. She one of them, but it's mainly just like my friends that I've kind of like had for like a few years, like from like high school, stuff like that I still talk to.
It's sad, but when I lost my grandma, she raised me, and it's when I moved with my sister and my brother, and that like whole time really like pushed me to learn like independence and stuff, and I'm really grateful for that. Even though it was a sad time, it helped me like find myself too and find the people that really matter to me and like my real friends. Yeah, it's pretty important.
When I was like 10, I broke my leg like in 2 places, and it was like the most pain I've ever been in. And then like when I got to the hospital, like all my family were there, and they were just like, everyone was there to see if I was okay, and that was just really nice. So I never really want to forget that.
The day my grandchildren were born, all 3 of them. Like raising another family, and this is my grandson. He stays with us all the time. There's not a week goes by that we don't see him, and it's wonderful.
I hope I never forget when I went to Niagara Falls. My grandparents took me there last summer in first class, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
When my sisters were born, it was cool. It was like, wow, I have siblings. I'm not alone anymore.
The moment of my life that I'll never forget was when I was in 6th grade. I started singing for the choir, and the music teacher there loved my voice, and so she recommended me to a voice teacher, and that commenced me to sing opera, which why I am here at JMU. I'm here studying vocal performance because 11 years ago I decided to take voice lessons. So that's a moment I'll never forget.
Fuck, alright, I gotta think about this. I don't know if I want to say it here, but yeah, but I know what it is.
Do you have one?
I think so.
You can go first, yeah?
Okay, mine would probably be when I was on study abroad and we were driving through the Serengeti, and I like stuck my head out the roof of the Jeep, and I was like, holy shit. Oh, sorry, can I say that? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I was like, holy shit, I'm in the middle of Africa, in the Serengeti, this is awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. I think mine would have to be, this is kind of weird, but like, my mom struggled with addiction for most of her life, and she was in prison for a lot of it, and in 3rd grade, I got to see my mom for the first time in like 8 years, and that was like insane, which was really great. It just was like it was like something I can't even describe, because it was just like a feeling of like feeling right in that moment. And she's passed now. I mean, I love her, but it's just a moment. It's a good moment. I'll never forget it.
Sweet.
The day I married my wife. Yeah, I hope I never forget. It was amazing, man. It was magical. It was magical. It was an experience. Something everybody should, enjoy. Experience if you can. Yeah.
I don't know, probably like my first day of school or something. Walking into school. I won't forget that.
I hope I'll never forget. That's a hard question. There's a lot of moments in my life that I'll never forget. Probably when I graduated high school, like I finished everything, and like My family was like, they were sad that I was leaving, but they were really happy that I just finished high school and now I'm here. So that's probably it right there.
Ooh. You can go first. You can go first. Get close to me.
Probably, I would say starting, because I'm a bodybuilder, so probably starting my bodybuilding journey, because that's where I met the close group of friends I have currently and I will have in my life, and the biggest support system I have in my life. I'd say, yeah, probably starting the journey and just getting really like a foundation in good friendship and like, yeah. Shout out to my coach, Kenley Adams, Nelson Jones, Alexis Adams. She's gonna turn pro here in 6 weeks, so look her up.
I have a wholesome childhood memory. It's my grandfather used to take me to this track, and it would be like where I would soon, later in life, run high school track. But he would take me there, he'd go running and teach me how to ride a bike, and he would follow behind me running around. I just remember looking back, and he was not with me. He wasn't holding me on the bike anymore. I was doing it by myself. He was just watching me. I guess that's one memory I really love. I hope I can keep that. Don't get Alzheimer's and forget it, but yeah. Shout out to Grandpa.
That's a hard one. I think I have a lot. One that has already happened or that will happen? Well, for one that has already happened, God, that's hard. I went to Florida for states for basketball, and we came in second place. I mean, we didn't come in first, but I mean, that's something I'll probably never forget, like that whole experience. And then something that will happen, well, I mean, I hope to be married someday, so my marriage is something I'll probably never forget, my wedding day. I mean, like, I'm with someone currently, yes. So, I mean, that day, that'll probably be a moment I'll never forget.
A moment in my life I hope I will never forget. You know, it's kind of funny you asked me that, because all of a sudden I can't think of anything, which means have I forgotten it already? Which defeats the purpose of the question. Uh-oh. Wait, okay, let me think about this. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. It's kind of early. I'm like still waking up a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to go with that answer. So, you know, is there any moment that you forget from moment to moment that you do forget? You can't keep everything in your brain at all times. So, I don't know. Can you forget anything? Everything? Is it gone forever?